Take a look at this view. And it's only getting better. Like, we're only gonna see more epic views like this. Oh, Patagonia is awesome.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
After spending Christmas in Bariloche, we continued our trek south along the nicely paved roads lined with wildflowers.
So throughout Argentina, you always have like police checkpoints just randomly along roads and coming in and out of towns and stuff. And the one we just passed, he was super, super nice. And I would have to say the majority of the police this whole trip have been nice generally. I mean, if you think about it, this whole trip we've had maybe 2 or 3 like corrupt cops that were super mean. But
3 instances where like, and then even the guy in Ecuador, he was pretty nice even though he's trying to get money out of us. He was very smiley and like, come on. And it wasn't like a threatening thing. So really 2 times when cops were intimidating and mean the whole time. And we've passed thousands. We've interacted with hundreds.
And people always ask us why we don't film them, and sometimes we film the bad ones because it helps us. But most of the time when you're having a good interaction, unless we're lucky, there's no reason to film it. And
and you don't want to like, I don't know, you don't want to be insulting to him either, like they're being so nice. But sometimes what we should do, maybe we'll try this in the future, is like, do you mind if we get a little video of you and like, come with us, what's your name, you know, and you know, how are you doing and where are you from? Oh, this area, or no, you're from over
but even
there.
though we might not catch it, I just wanted to say that most of the police that we interact with are not scary and they're nice. And
and I've noticed too, when we're in a better mood and we're like not scared and we're smiling, and you pull up and you go, hola, and you're smiling, they start smiling, you know, because they don't know if the next guy they're going to deal with is the bad guy, because obviously there's a reason there's a cop, right? And he's told, you're out there to look for smugglers or people who aren't paying insurance, or I don't know what their charge is, you know, that they're looking for. But as soon as they realize, like, that's a weird truck and you guys look different, and then they start asking about the trip, they're always excited. Where are you going? How long have you been on the road? How long have you been in Argentina? Do you like it? Or whatever country you're in. And so it's always fun, and you like, they're excited about the trip. You almost want to like give them a sticker and be like, here you go, or can I take a photo and put it on Instagram? And
so anyways, just thought I'd mention cops are not always bad.
No, in fact, 99% good.
They get a bad reputation from travelers because you see a lot. You hear about the bad stuff more than you hear about the good stuff. But
for sure.
It's not all bad.
No, it's not.
Views, and the wildflowers are just incredible. They're everywhere. Bright purple, bright yellow. Pretty driving, pretty everywhere we stop. We're heading out of Bariloche to the south, and just stopped at this little pullout to have lunch. It's like a viewpoint for those lakes over there. And then I don't know where we'll end up. Look for some free remote camp. And I think we'll call it a day early, do some editing, and just relax. Nice weather, nice and cool. So, not a bad day.
We did end up calling it a day early and made camp just down the road from our lunch spot, right here. In the morning, we packed up camp, with the skies threatening rain.
So we came into just a little town south of Bariloche, and and we figured this would be one of the last places that we could have a larger grocery store and stock up on some stuff. So this morning we came in, went to the grocery store, and just as I was about done shopping, we lost power in the whole town. And so we waited for a good 15 minutes hoping that the power would come back on and we could check out, but no such luck. So we went to a little veggie place that we found that was accepting cash so that we could at least get veggies if we couldn't get anything else.
And we got a ton of veggies and eggs and stuff, and it was what, 250 Argentinian pesos, so $5.
Yeah. And then we ended up just stopping at a little restaurant to grab a beer and a slice of pizza and got some Wi-Fi.
Posted this week's video.
Yeah. And then the power was back on, so we could come back and we got the groceries that we needed. So
yeah, you get back and you feel bad because you know the restocking guy, you know.
He actually said to me, he was like, "Oh, you were here. I'm sorry that the power went out and you came back." And da, da, da. And I was
but you still feel bad because you know they had to restock everything, and then we went back in and rebought it all, minus the veggies since we'd already bought that.
Yeah.
But you kind of go, well, you guys are open, so we'll refill a cart with everything you just probably set back.
But once the power goes out in a store, they lock the doors and no one can come in. So you're kind of just...
We gave it a good 20 minutes or more.
We
almost
waited
half an hour.
Time.
Thinking like, we're so used to this by now, that the power outage stuff, that you just kind of go, usually it comes back, and it just wasn't. So we gave up and gave them a couple hours. But
anyways, we got what we needed done. The only thing I guess we could stop and do is gas.
Yeah, I think if there's a Puma and a YPF up here, I'm going to try and top off the tanks, because we're kind of thinking from here, there are sporadic gas stations and stuff. We're not way down at the tip of Patagonia or anything. But this is one of those areas that has lots of side trails, and I don't want to be on a side trail going, let's turn around, I'm not sure when the next gas station is. So I'd rather sort of do the top off anytime we see a gas station and know that we're always able to do tons of exploring. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a wet night. I don't see any breaks in this weather right now.
Pretty stormy today. Yeah. But we got what we needed. It only took us till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to do it, but we did it. So that was good. There's a YPF over that way.
The rain made for a cozy day of driving, and the next morning we awoke to a clear, crisp day. Perfect for our next stop. What was our next stop, you ask? Well, it was the cabin of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Yep, they actually lived here. I love this stuff. In 1901, Butch, Sundance, and Sundance's wife, Etta, decided laying low in the U.S. was getting hard, so they hopped on a boat in New York, bound for Buenos Aires. Once there, they found that Patagonia had some pretty good homesteading opportunities. Butch wrote a friend back home saying, "I visited the best cities and the best parts of South America, till I got here. And this part of the country looked so good that I located." They acquired 12,000 acres in Patagonia, on the bank of the Rio Blanco in the foothills of the Andes, and they built a little ranch. Butch also wrote, "I like this part of the world so much, I think I've settled down for good. I own 300 head of cattle, 1,500 head of sheep, and 28 riding horses. I have 2 helpers, a nice 4-room house, barns, a stable, and a hen house. The only thing I need is a cook, since I am still unpleasantly single and many times feel lonely."
What's funny is it's like, it feels like it's right out of the movie with Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Just the look of it. But it's beautiful. I mean, for all the traveling we've done, this looks the most like Colorado, Montana, Utah sort of climate. and looks.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really, really pretty here. Just got like a very serene, calm feel. Right now we're in the beginning of summer too, so it's like the weather is perfect. It's cool, but the sun is warm. It smells fresh. I'd say Butch and Sundance picked a pretty good place to hang out for a while. I'd hang out here for a while.
By 1904, the Pinkertons had their suspicions of the outlaws' whereabouts in Argentina, even distributing wanted posters in Spanish. When a bank was robbed 300 miles south of the ranch, one of the bandits carrying a revolver that was thought to have been supplied by Butch, it set the wheels in motion and began to narrow down their location for the Pinkertons. So the following year, when another bank was robbed south of the ranch, reportedly by 2 English-speaking bandits, the authorities issued an order to have Butch and Sundance questioned. Lucky for them, the local officer was rumored to have liked the outlaws, so he was in no hurry to carry out those orders, and may have even tipped them off to the law being on their trail. And just like that, they vanished, selling off the ranch and supposedly robbing a bank or two before crossing the border into Chile. After that, there are a lot of different theories as to what happened to the outlaw trio. I'll leave some links in the description for some of the better write-ups I found, so you can check those out if you want to know more. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole when researching their history in Argentina. It's all pretty interesting.
River or creek right behind the cabins, so you have that sound going on and the birds chirping. I can't get over just like how, I don't know, beautiful and serene it feels. What do you think?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great spot. I mean, it's one of those spots that I'm gonna believe that it is really the spot that they were at.
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
Yeah, who knows? But it doesn't seem. I mean, the cabins don't seem totally remade, but you can tell people are taking care of them. Like
yeah,
when a
trying to
wall's
keep
getting
them
down
from
there,
falling
you get a
down.
newer piece of wood shoring it up and all that.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a spot that a gringo, because we're from a similar area in the United States. This is one of the
feels like
nicest areas we've seen. That's the most like home in the whole trip. So I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
We'll go to the little museo and see what they have to say. It's got to be better than the museum in San Vicente where Butch and Sundance supposedly died, because that just had a bunch of photos of Paul Newman and Robert Redford from the movie. And then they had a couple of the old stock photos of Butch Cassidy, from the U.S. that you've seen, like if you Google their names online.
Yeah.
But it didn't have any information. Any information in San Vicente
No
was
real
sort of
history.
lost.
Yeah.
And no one knows which grave in the graveyard. I think that they're a busy mining town and they just got about the business of mining, right? But here, maybe there's been a little bit more memory of,
Yeah, and amazingly, it was free to come look at this cabin, which anywhere else, I feel like there would have been some fee to come and look at the cabin.
Yeah.
But no, everyone was perfectly happy. They told
there's
us
a guy
where it was
working
at.
on building a brick house right over there,
Yeah.
and he waved and he goes, yeah. He knew what we were here for. And he's like, around the corner. And there's no little feast station or anything. It's wild. Argentina's been so different in that sense.
Yeah,
that we
everyone
haven't.
seemed so happy, friendly, for the most part.
I think part of it is economically. I know there's problems here and stuff, tons of them, but they're doing better than a lot of the other countries, and so they're just like, check out Butch Cassidy. If you want to come by the museo and make a donation, great. So we'll go do that, but no one's asked for anything.
Yeah, cool, good stop. Worth it, I think.
Just down the street is a little shop/museum, so we stopped in to have a look.
So we stopped at this little museum/coffee shop/bar, and got a sweet treat. It's the coconut dulce de leche, little like tart thing, and it is so good.
I'm having a liquid sweet treat.
Yeah.
Oatmeal stout. It's good.
And
No idea
we're
what
sitting
brand.
outside, and it is still just a beautiful, beautiful day. So if you come this way, definitely make a stop here. It's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no crowd. There's no like,
Just chill.
yeah, there's no tourist line of anything. There's just the Butch Cassidy cabin. And looking at the letters that he wrote home, it all fits. There's even
Yeah.
like a photo, and you go, wow, that really is, I think, his cabin. So it's cool to see something
really
real
cool.
and legit. And then to sit at this, almost looks like an old train station, but it was where they would do, they'd shear sheep. So they had a shearing machine here, so all the sheep herders around would come here. And they used to have a YPF gas station back in like 20s?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, and so this was all after Butch Cassidy and Sundance were here, but still beautiful old building.
Yeah.
After our snack, we headed out to search for a place to camp. We found ourselves on a little lake, just one of the many in this area.
This spot's amazing. Here we are in Argentinian Patagonia, and there's so many lakes and rivers, and so we off-roaded for, I don't know, something like, well, we've been off-roading all day, so, but that's great, a dirt road. Off-roading meaning more of a trail. We were on a trail for, I don't know, 12 kilometers. Then to get to the lake, we saw a couple of 4x4s, fly fishing and camping. And then we took this trail here that had no signs of use, and in the mud there was no tracks, so that was kind of nice knowing that you should be totally alone unless there's a fly fisherman walking the perimeter of this lake here. It's not huge. It does go back around that corner quite a bit, and then there's the other side of it there. Pretty amazing. Awesome. So it's nice having Kelsey drive. People are always asking, why don't you let her drive? I'm like, you don't know Kelsey. No one tells her to do anything, so I'm not letting her drive. But I do love driving more than her, and so I just take that on as one of the things I can do. She edits videos. She cooks a lot more than I do, at least if I've been driving that day. So it's just kind of how we've divvied up some of the duties. But I love when she's driving, and when we're off-road and doing more technical stuff, I normally hand it over to her just because she's good at it, and I like seeing her be able to do at least the fun driving. And then I'll take the, 10-hour day of doing a dirt road or something that's not that exciting, but it occupies my mind. So I actually like being behind the wheel, even though it's tiring. And then when we're off-road, it's a lot more fun to watch her do stuff, and I get out and watch Goose go through stuff, which I don't normally get to do. So pretty cool. Cool to see people actually enjoying their country, though. These aren't tourists, none of them, not a one. I mean, they might be Argentinian tourists, but
Eventually, we made camp, built a fire, and cooked dinner our favorite way, over the coals.
Mind-body problem, meaning of life, got quite existential.
I'll finally put on my sweatshirt.
I know.
Somehow
It's funny when you have one wine after the other, how different they taste.
Right?
your
I
ability
like the other
to
one better.
have the same experience.
This one's
with
good,
the
but this is
work.
more normal
yeah,
wine.
yeah.
In
Tastes more
his
bland.
case, there's so much that's
And then
authentic.
a little tangy.
A little more
at the
bland,
end.
but also thicker. Like,
Yeah.
like almost it's
There's
going
not
to
a
make
distance.
you
Sits on
feel
the back
full.
of your tongue.
Whereas
Yeah, it'll be good.
the level of energy and not- and I don't think it will always be like, if you ever have never try to put those in what people coming at you, like just grab them, pull them up.
But I'm getting to an age where I'm having things
Ah.
75, I don't see them. And I sort of remember going,
Oh. Not bad, right?
hot hand. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and it's kind of like, hey man, like, what's the deal?
We can probably take it off there, yeah?
I think it's
Yeah.
probably good with the amount of popcorn that I put in.
Yeah.
Hey, what's with all the negativity? What's whatever never mind? We were
We got salt.
I'd just like to say that it is now 10 o'clock and it is like barely sunset. And we've had dinner, popcorn, and 2 bottles of wine. We're having a great time and enjoying it, and the weather is amazing and the fire feels great. But we're turning into Argentinians because it's so late and we're just finishing dinner, so can't help it, but going to bed later than we ever have. But it's good.
We actually hung out here for a few days. Just like Butch and Sundance, we felt oddly at home. But now it was time to move again.
He is helping.
Had to pull over, take a look at this view behind us. Let me get out of Tim's picture real quick. But it is so beautiful, and the color of the water, it's so clean and clear and like turquoise. And then there's snow-covered mountains. The temperature's still good. It's still nice outside. Don't really want to jump in the water, but take a look at this view. And it's only getting better. Like, we're only gonna see more epic views like this. Oh, Patagonia is awesome. This is just the beginning. Very windy right now. It's very windy everywhere, but
Yeah.
we try to camp where we can find some shelter from the wind, but we'll see how it goes because it's pretty barren where we're at right now. So.
Yeah.
But using the last little bit of cell service before we probably lose it for quite a while.
Yeah.
So that's the update.
Sorry, I'm doing an Instagram post right now. Writing something witty.
Priorities.
As we continued south, it became more and more desolate, with more and more wind.
Yes, we just passed that couple on a, it looked like a little Vespa or Piaggio or something like that, an old one. So, sorry, there's a Cuny, I'm honking a lot. There they go. They walk up to the road, and sometimes they just decide to meander across.
They're not the
quite as bad as
smartest.
sheep, but yeah, or I mean deer, but they almost seem attracted to the road. But yeah, they're 2 up on this little scooter, and they had the little helmets with the intercoms, so they got like all these modern jumpsuits and helmets and gear, but they're on this vintage Italian scooter,
yeah.
2 up, with 2 fuel cans on the back and a little bag. They didn't have much bags.
No.
So they must be hoteling or you know,
Hostels or
hosteling at most of the places. And we're down in southern Argentina, which is the most notorious for wind of the whole trip. To be on any motorcycle right now is brutal.
It's so windy that it's hard to get out of the car because you have to hold onto your door so hard so that the wind doesn't take it out of your hands. And
Yeah, you could rip the door and
it's
break the hinge pretty
so
easily
hard.
in this wind.
Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
cheers to them. Like, the only people I'd feel worse for is somebody pedaling, because if you're pedaling into this
I'd be going
wind,
backwards.
I think you just give up. And then I think, you know, if the wind stops, you start riding. I don't care if it's the middle of the night. I think you would just ride when the wind stops, because I don't think you'd make even 5 miles an hour
It would be
into this.
miserable, yeah.
And there's some pretty good hills. So if you have the wind and a hill, I mean, we're dropping to like 4 or 5 miles per gallon when we're going uphill with the wind hitting us, like right now. And then when we're going flat or downhill with the wind behind us, we're getting like consistently 35 miles per gallon. The wind is so strong at your back.
Yeah.
So it's wild. I swear, I think it's stronger.
Yeah, it seems. I wonder if it's just because it's coming through.
Yeah, like this canyon is a sort of like a funnel, you know, it's condensing, it's compressing the air, and it speeds up. I was hoping, as you can see there, we have a little bit of a hill there. I was thinking, yeah, maybe we can tuck.
We continued struggling to find shelter from the wind, but the views made up for it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and join us next time as we make it to the cute little village of El Chalten and hike up Fitzroy.
We have the result of excommunicated.
Can't be cool. I can't hide the excitement. There's something about popcorn. Like,
I love it.
This person
It's like those little ones. Remember that you used to like
Yeah,
do
oh.
over and then they'd like grow.
yeah,
sensationalized.
like the monkey with this.
They're not.
What does the fox say?
Pretty good.